It's time for a little Chicago Blackhawks pregame show. Tom Callahan here with you on the Locked On Utah Hockey Club podcast. Let's get into it. Big game tonight with the Blackhawks and the Utah Hockey Club coming up right now.
You are Locked On Utah Hockey Club, your daily podcast on the Utah Hockey Club, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey everybody, Tom Callahan here with you. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate you being here as the Chicago Blackhawks in town to take on your Utah Hockey Club. Little pregame show coming your way right now. We've got some locker room reaction from Andre Tourigny coming your way in just a little bit, and we will hear what he had to say after morning skate today. Also hoping to get some player reaction in there as well. So stay tuned for that. But right now, I want to get into talking about Chicago coming in. The Blackhawks, a beatable team, a classic trap game scenario. So much I don't want to read into. I don't want to say I'm reading into things here, but there's just a lot that could go right, but yet by the same token, could go wrong for the Utah Hockey Club. So a couple of things we do know. Karel Vejmelka will get the start in net tonight. So that's important to note, looking at his record this year, 14, 15, and 4. But again, the numbers are great. 2.52 goals against is awesome. 909 save percentage, very good. Mrazek is probably getting the start for Chicago tonight. 10-19 and 2, 3.33, and an 894 for him. One thing that did come out, and I will get to this ahead of time because Andre Tourigny didn't say who, but he said game time decisions for some players, and not coaches' decisions, but bumps and bruises. Some guys a little, beat up at this time of year. Everybody is. So that's something I know we're going to hear about and kind of get into the little bit of a discussion there to see what Andre Tourigny's got to say about that and what he expects tonight. And you know what? For me, looking at this game, again, coming into this evening, the standings, it's hard to hammer this home enough. And this question was asked a lot in the locker room to a lot of people today. So I can understand if it got a little frustrating for some of the guys. And even Andre Tourigny was asked this question. How do you not look past this team? How do you not look past this team? And the cliched answers were some variation of, hey, we're all professionals. We are here to play this game. We need to focus on this game, shift by shift, blah, blah, blah. If you've been around sports for longer than 30 seconds, you've heard all of these, right? Well, this is what they need to do. They being the Utah Hockey Club, they do need to win every shift. They do need to battle. And if you lose a shift, you go out and you win the next shift. You can only play this game. But the thing is, you start to look ahead a little bit. But when you're starting to get that question, I think that's a good thing. And the reason I say that is now you're 4 points out heading into tonight's action behind the Vancouver Canucks. You're 3 points behind the Calgary Flames. You have to leapfrog both of them to get into the wild card. But it's exciting because now you're in a situation where that means there's buzz, right? There's some electricity. There's some excitement. You're not being the team that people are asking, hey, are you looking past Utah? No, it's Utah. Are you looking past Chicago? And again, Chicago comes in tonight at 17-33 and 7, 41 points. In the NHL, that is second worst to only the San Jose Sharks. They have a minus 49 goal differential. On the road this year, 6-18 and 4. By the way, when we get to the FanDuel odds a little bit later, that's going to seem odd to you when I give you the numbers. But just, looking at things like that, they've only scored 152 goals this year, which actually is not bad, but they've allowed 201. One of very few teams to give up 200-plus goals. As a matter of fact, one of three teams, the other being Pittsburgh at 214 and San Jose at 221. Chicago's given up 201 goals, and they've done it in 57 games. So not great right now on Chicago, who are going to be active here. This is the other thing. Chicago's probably got a bunch of guys on this roster looking over their shoulder, thinking about getting traded. Seth Jones is one of them. We know he's already asked for his way out of town. So, it can be a classic trap game. But I think for the Utah Hockey Club, it's a game where they just need to keep the focus on themselves. They need to look at their game. It's not what Chicago's doing. You don't need to counter the Blackhawks. You want to know where Connor Bedard is at all times. Don't get me wrong. But this is about sticking to what Utah Hockey Club needs to do well. Winning those battles, playing in the right place at the right time, sticking with the system, being patient with the whole scenario and how you're going to move forward. And that's why I can break into keys to the game a little bit early here in our first segment. Number one, stay out of the box. And again, special teams has been good and bad. The power play has been great, which is key number 2, stay hot, but the penalty kill's been atrocious. So the power play, 50% in the last 4 games. That's awesome. The penalty kill, also 50% in the last 4 games. That is terrible. So they've allowed 5 power play goals on 10 chances. They've scored 6 times on 12 power play chances for. Keep that hot power play. I love it because the talent is there. Durzi being back has really driven their power play, I think, to a new level. Now they have 2 dangerous power play units. They can really move the puck, and Gunther is playing well right now. He's the guy who's just making things happen and stirring the pot. But, you can't overlook Clayton Keller. He's the distributor right now. His assist totals keep climbing. He's heading towards 50 right now, so he's having a great year. That's why the power play's hot. But penalty killing is just simply hard work. It stops, it starts, it's effort. And sometimes you're going to get a bad bounce, a bad break. But as long as you keep your box or your diamond or whatever some version of that working, you can get sticks in the lane, take away those passing lanes, those shooting lanes, be disciplined. Utah needs to be more disciplined with their penalty kill. They need to stay within the lanes and the routes that they need to run and not chase. And you'll see if they get a power play goal scored against them tonight, even by Chicago, when they get those goals scored, they get running around. They get out of place. They blow their coverage. So those are the things they need to do. And then clean up the D zone, 5-on-5. I thought they did a great job against the Canucks on that. But I'm keeping it as a key, and I'm going to keep going back to it because when you are not taking care of rebounds in front of your goaltender, when you're not clearing out the front of the net for your goaltender, when you're not exiting your zone cleanly and you're giving the puck away, until they can do this on a consistent basis, this key might just as well be laminated on my keys to the game. Really important for me that I see the Utah Hockey Club taking care of business like this. So that's important to me. I've got FanDuel odds coming your way here in just a moment. So we're going to talk about those. And then we're going to hear from head coach Andre Tourigny as well here. Blackhawks and the Utah Hockey Club, the pregame show here. And they're coming up in just a little bit. So stay tuned. All right. And today's show is brought to you in part by Indeed. You just realized your business needs to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs puts your post at the top of the page and helps you reach the right candidates faster. I'm in a spot right now where we're looking for a social media person at the place I work. It's an important job, and we're in the middle of our season as well. We need to get someone in the door. So how do you do that? How do you get the right candidates in and not just rush to judgment? Well, that's where Indeed sponsored jobs come in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidates right now. Now you can speed up your hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring Indeed is all you need. Okay, Tom Callahan here with you. Thank you for joining me here. And while we have a moment, let's go ahead and head on over. We're going to hear from head coach Andre Tourigny. So let's go hear what he had to say after morning skate.
Just to the lineup or anything?
We'll have game time decision. We'll see game time decision.
And veg tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
No change on the back end.
This with Matias Michelli and the healthy scratches, how do you see his role on this team moving forward?
I think that the beauty of having depth is, it creates those kind of a situation where you have good player who are not are not in the lineup. But it's a rare occasion we had last game. It's a really rare occasion. You have a full lineup, everybody's healthy. But for Chile, I think we had discussion on what he has to bring, and his A game has not been as productive as been in the past. And right now we have competitiveness, and we have guys who help us in different role in that team. And the beauty of it is the growth we have from our young player. So that's great competition, and competition, some win, some lose. That's what it is.
Are the game time decisions tonight health reasons or just coach decisions?
No, it's injury related. So we'll see. We have banged up guys, so we'll figure it out after the warm up.
Andre, maybe a combination question here of urgency and knowing your role. In the third period, Lawson Crouse and his impact, creating the pet lead, Michael Carconi, little plays that lead to opportunities that change the game. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I think there's when you arrive in those critical situations, you don't want to try to do too much, but at the same time you need to play your game. So it's doing what you do, just longer and with more consistency, and being capable of staying in the moment and not trying to do more and not trying to extend stuff. And I think Crosser and his line played a really good game. They were physical, they had pace. Talk about how great was Donor after the game. Donor was really, really good. I think that generate, like you said, either a power play or a shift in the ozone. I think when they score... when they scored their goal in the second, the way the next shift with Barrett Eaton's line and then the next shift with Banner's line, we got the momentum back right away, and we had opportunity in possession and hope. I think that lead to the next goal was ours. But I think I like the fact we did not try to change our game or panic or force it or whatever. We just stayed with it. We knew we were playing well. We just stayed with it.
How do you make sure not to underestimate an opponent that's in the bottom of the standings?
It's about us. It's not about them, though. We are in a situation where we're in the sprint. We're no more a marathon. It's no more whatever the number of miles of the marathon. It's 42K in Canada, but here's in miles. I think it's 26 miles or whatever it is. So. No, we're not at the starting line. We're in the last sprint, so we need to get going. And I think Chicago is a team who is a proud organization who we've been in those shoes before. And if you're not ready to play against those guys, they can hurt you. So for us, we want to become a team where every night, whatever the opponent, whatever they throw at us, we are us. We are what we are, and we are playing in our identity with consistency. So tonight it's an opportunity to prove we're getting there.
Back to Matt's question, just real quick about Lawson Crouse and just creating opportunities. You've seen him play a good chunk of his career. From last year to this year, do you feel like his role has changed a little bit? Not being the goal scorer he was maybe a few years ago? Yeah,
it started to change last year during the season, I think, when, it's just normal growth, and there will be more of that, because we have other young guys who will come in and will take place. Logan Cooley at the start of the season last year was playing, I don't know, we'll say 12, 13, 14 minutes, whatever it is. And then at some point was playing 20. So it's not just playing more minutes, it's playing in more key situation, empty net situation, when you pull the goalie, with power play and stuff like that. But some guys play less. So Crosser went from being on the ice when we were pulling the goalie and stuff like that, not being there because, Gunnar got called up after Christmas and Cooley role grew. So it's same thing for Michelli. It's just the growth with inside it. Are we all excited about? Yeah, there's collateral damage. There is. So you either find a new role or you fight to keep your role. That's what everybody do. But at some point, just naturally, the thing has to fall in place. And I think Crosser, from that moment, adjusts his game, bring physicality, speed. I really think, for me, since late December, Crosser is playing really good. we all want him to score more. He wants to score more. He carry kind of his history of number of goals, and everybody are looking at it and say, "Oh, why he doesn't score that as many as in the past." He's not just a goal scorer. He's a guy who defends really well. He skate well. He can fight. He can hit. He's bringing energy to the team. He's bringing leadership. He's really good structurally. He brings a lot. And last game, he has the pass on Donor on the rush where he has a one-timer. He just missed the net. That could have been a goal. He got a breakaway. Could have been another goal. So the chances are more and more in his favor. The chances are there. The puck will go in eventually because he's still a good goal scorer, but he has more to his game.
Some of the players were saying that while they know hockey is a business, as a human, it's hard to ignore the trade deadline coming up. How do you manage that as a coach, knowing the guys are kind of thinking about it?
It's for me. I try to focus on what we can control. I'm not the GM. The player are not in control. Even if they can talk to their agent, if they want to be traded or don't want to be traded or want to improve their situation or happy about their situation, they want to have an extension or not. They don't control that. So we talk a lot about stuff we can control. We know it's there. We can have a crack and talk about it and individually and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we need to close that door and put that aside and move forward. You have problem at home today and you showed up at work and you leave that behind and you need to do your work. You need to do your job. That's what you're paid for. We're all in the same boat. Same thing for the player. Is it easy? Not every day. Not same thing for you, same thing for them. But at the end of the day, for us, if we're not excited about the position we are in, well, I'm speechless. Which one you say? We're 4 points out. We're in the race. We're in it. We're 20-odd game to play. Let's get at it, and it's a must-win for us.
What have you liked from Sean Durzi in the 2 games that he's been back, and what has he brought to the ice that's specific to his skill set?
Everything. I like his energy. I like his intensity. I will say this. I like his communication everywhere. On the ice, on the bench, he drags out in the fight. He sorts things out by his communication on the ice. As much as everybody think communication, it's easy. It's more natural for some guys, and it helps so much the game. And the way he talk, he drag other guys to talk more. And I think he did a great job. Obviously, he has an offensive instinct who impact the game. The quality of his passes, the quality of his shot, his drive and passion offensively, his desire. I talk with the team sometimes about that. Offense is not just skill and hockey sense and speed. It's drive, it's passion, it's wanting to make the difference. You look at Kels, he wants to make the difference, and I often talk about that. Durzi's the same. He wants, every time he gets the puck, he thinks, I will make something happen. But he's older, he's smart enough to realize, okay, that won't be on this one, and he will be smart with his decision with the puck. But he has the mindset of wanting to make a difference every time. Look at great player. When Hovey gets the puck, you think he will score all the time. He never thinks, on that shift, I won't score. No, he always want to score every time. Well, it's the same with other players in the league, and Durzi is one of those guys who he wants to make a difference every time he touches the puck, and I think he dragged us in the fight.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, that's head coach Andre Tourigny. Another quick break. Jack McBain's going to join us briefly. We had a chance to talk to him real quick, and then we're also going to get to those FanDuel odds, so stay tuned. We've got more coming your way in just a moment. This is the Locked On Utah Hockey Club podcast. And thank you for making us your first listen each and every single day when it comes to the Utah Hockey Club. I'm Tom Callahan. Robin Leano will be joining me for postgame reaction, so stick around for that. Let's get to those FanDuel odds coming into the game. I said earlier in the pregame show I wanted to talk about this. Chicago, for a team that is allowing a lot of goals but not scoring a lot, 6.5 is the over-under. I have a feeling about tonight. I think it might be the over, and I rarely pick the over, especially at 6.5. That's high. So we're talking about a 4-3 game here. 4-2 is not going to cut it. 3-2 is not going to cut it. Veg is playing well. So I'm a little hesitant there, but I just feel like Chicago is going to be live by the sword, die by the sword, and they kind of don't have a lot to worry about. The other thing is, too, Utah is primed for an offensive explosion. I think they could easily do that because Chicago, keep in mind, has given up 5 goals in each of their last 2 games. They lost 5-2 and 5-1. So 6.5, not unlikely. But the money line's a little weird to me because Chicago is on paper such a bad team and they're horrible on the road at -115 and Utah is only -105. That's a little strange. That's a little strange to me. I don't know if I'd touch that one. Of course, Utah gets a goal and a half being at home. That one I would probably take. So I see this being a Utah win, and I also see it being a pretty big Utah win. So just giving you the FanDuel odds on that one. All right, Jack McBain, kind enough to join us here from Morning Skate. Let's hear what he had to say.
Coming off the game against Vancouver, obviously, the idea of like rising to the occasion when the pressure's on in moments like that. What do you think of this team in those moments, especially this late in the season?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was a huge game. We all knew that was a playoff game for us. So it's good to see us come together and win that. I think, we played a lot of really good hockey. Even that LA game, I thought we could have won. So no, it was really good to see. And it's important to find ways to win. So it's good.
Coming back from, the Four Nations break, obviously you guys are in the zone at this point. What's the message? What's the mentality, especially in this homestand, to try to keep that rolling?
Yeah, I think every game is just as important as the last. I think, points are huge for us. And if you look at the standings, everybody's close. So, I can't really afford to have an off night anymore. So, everybody's just got to bring their A game every night, and we'll see where we end up.
I know it's no easy wins in the NHL, but how do you not overlook a team like tonight in the Blackhawks?
Yeah, everybody's good. Everybody's good in this league. It's tough. There's no easy win, but something we talk about a lot is just kind of having a team identity, and no matter who's on the other side, just playing to that. So I think that'll be something important for us tonight.
Okay, that's going to wrap it up for us in this pregame show edition as the Blackhawks in town to take on the Utah Hockey Club. Join us for postgame reaction as well, Robin Leano and I. If you're still here, give us a like, a follow, a subscribe. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you can find us over on social media. I'll be at Tom Talks on Blue Sky, following along with the game here this evening. If you have questions, let me know. Maybe we can work them into the postgame show as well. And whenever we do our live postgame shows, we hope you can stop by and join us for those as well. But in the meantime, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Get ready and enjoy tonight's fantastic hockey action. Utah Hockey Club. This is a big one. They win tonight, and they are absolutely knocking on that wild card door. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the Locked On Utah Hockey Club podcast.